Hi, boys and girls. So the second lesson for this week is about identifying problems and the solution to them. So may involve the steps or the actions that were taken to solve the problem. Because usually problems aren't solved right away, which I'm sure we know. There's usually steps that we take, or we might have a process to solve that problem. We're going to be looking for this by using signal words. Signal words are kind of like transition words where we know something's about to happen. So, consequently, or as a result. If you hear someone say, like, as a result, you kind of know that that's in the effect of something or the solution to something. And the reason why we're doing this is to better understand the main idea of the text. So if we know the problem and solution, kind of like the cause and effect, then we kind of understand the story a little bit better. So we already learned about cause and effect. So this is very similar. Now, the only difference is with problem and solution, we have a definite problem where we don't really know how it's going to be solved. So if we go back to Finding Nemo, the problem was he was taken. That's a big problem that needs to be solved. And he went through many steps to solve that problem where he did eventually find them. So to start out this, again, this is an optional. Think about it. You can write it in your packet, or you can just talk about it with someone in your at your house. Think about the essential question. The essential question is right here. How can invention solve problems? So think about the essential question and what you read about Lewis Latimer. How can invention solve problems? So this one is kind of a thinker, but write it down. How can you can even use Lewis Latimer's invention or as something else that you know about. Um, how can a certain invention solve a problem? Go ahead and write or talk about it. Okay, now to the learning part. So the text structure that we're looking at is problem and solution. So, like I've already said, problem and solution and cause and effect are pretty similar, but the only difference is when we have cause and effect, that's something happens, and as a result, this happens afterwards. So, with problem and solution, the problem is you're kind of stuck, you're at a brick wall. What can I do? And then we kind of have, well, I could do this, or I could do this, or I could do this. So we kind of have different avenues we can take, and the solution usually is it's almost like an aha moment, like, oh, we finally figured out how to solve this. So understanding the problem and solution in a text can help you to identify the main idea. And authors also use signal words to help readers notice the problem and solution in a text. So the first thing that you're going to do now, the four of them are done for you, is you're going to go back to the inventive Lewis Latimer, and you're going to be adding some problem and solution. I'm going to do this solution for you, but there's more in your text. There's more in your packet that you're going to have to do on your own. But this one says light bulbs cost a lot of money to make and don't last very long. So what I have to, this is a problem. We're at a brick wall. I don't know what to do. They cost too much money to make. So what are we going to do instead? What is our solution going to be, our aha moment? So here's that page right here, 9 and 10. So I'm going to start reading and keep reading until I have a specific solution that's going to be solving this problem. So Latimer realized that electricity was going to improve people's lives. Electric machines would help them to get their work done faster. Electric lights would make it easier to read and work at night. However, light bulbs cost a lot to make and didn't last very long. There's their problem. Latimer decided to make them cheaper and better. Now, you could say this is a solution. Oh, I'm going to make them cheaper and better. But that's not specific. That doesn't tell me how he solved it. Latimer wasn't the only one trying to do this. Other inventors were racing to produce an improved light bulb. So a brighter light. Latimer, working for Hiram Maxim's company, focused on creating a better light bulb. He conducted many experiments. In 1881, he discovered that the filament didn't burn out as quickly when it was inside a special cardboard envelope. The envelope also increased the brightness of the light bulb. Latimer made other improvements and took out patents on his inventions. Together, his inventions made it possible to make and sell light bulbs more cheaply. This meant more people could afford to buy them. Okay, we have a very specific solution. So it comes back to this. He discovered that the filament didn't burn out as quickly, and he used a cardboard envelope. So let me go over here and make my text smaller. Latimer used a let me double check filament. Filament that didn't burn as quickly and a cardboard envelope. This was also cheaper to make. Okay, that's my solution. So the problem was that it didn't last very long and it cost a lot of money. So he used the filament and he used the cardboard, which made it last longer and that made it cheaper. So it's a full circle for the problem and the solution. So you're going to be doing this for the rest of them. Now, I would suggest that if you don't want to reread, if you don't want to write all of this, is just to go back through and reread the text or listen to me read it out on the read aloud of the text. Listen to it again to hear those problems and solutions so that you can go back. So when you continue through this lesson, it's a little bit easier to identify them later. All right, and now we have the try it. This again is another optional activity for you to do, but it's another good practice for you to be identifying the problem and solution. Now, I will tell you that there is, because in this text, there's a couple solutions, but there's only really one big specific problem. So I'm going to go through it on here. I'm going to read some of this text aloud, and then I'm going to fill in part of this organizer. So it's called Breaking the Silence. American Sign Language is used by millions of people. The hearing impaired have used it for years. A young science student named Jose Hernandez Redlar noticed that few people who could hear knew sign language. They couldn't communicate with hearing impaired. He set out to make a new tool that would help solve this problem. I wonder what the problem is. With it, he also saw a new way for the hearing impaired to communicate. All right, so I'm going to call this page 1. And the problem is the hearing and hearing impaired could not communicate with each other. Now I need a specific solution to solve this problem. He's at a brick wall. He doesn't know what to do, and there's no clear solution for this. Early years. Hernandez Rebollar worked as an engineer in his native Mexico. He even had a part in making what became the largest telescope in the world. Now, this doesn't really relate back to the problem, so this is not essential for me right now. In 1998, he received a grant to study in the United States. He chose to get his PhD degree at George Washington University, where he studied electrical engineering. In 2000, he began work on his school project. It was an idea for a new glove. His invention, Hernandez Rebollar created his tool, the Excel glove. What was the logic? People used their hands to sign. The glove could turn sign language into spoken or print words. The process of turning movements into voice involved many steps. It starts when the glove is put on the hand and strapped to the arm. The glove sends signals made by where and how the hand and wrist move. The glove compares where the wrist and hand are to where the body is. The computer receives the signal. It then categorizes and links the hand movement with the correct word. An automatic computer voice then says the word. That is a very clear and specific solution to this problem. The Excel glove, yes. Excel glove turns sign language into speech. Oh, typing is not at par today. Into uh into speech. Oh my goodness. Or writing. Sorry, my typing is not working today. Okay, so that is a clear solution to the problem. The issue was people couldn't communicate with each other with hearing and hearing impaired. Now the Excel glove has solved that problem. It turns the sign language into speech so the hearing can hear what they're saying or they can write it down. So that is the problem and solution. You're going to read the rest of the text on your own, and it's right here, so you can actually pause the video and just read it from here if you want and find other problems or solutions that are in this text. Oops. Okay, so now you're going to, now that you've read all of Breaking the Silence, and if you didn't read it because you skipped the rest of the try it, go back and read it now so that you can complete this summary. So you have to write a summary of Breaking the Silence. In your summary, be sure to identify the problem and their solutions. So something you have to remember to include when you're writing this is you need to have transition words because they're really important with this problem and solution so that you know this is my issue, this is how it's going to be solved. So obviously you have the problem and solution, but there's other, so this glove that he created had different uses. It wasn't just that one solution. So what were the other uses for the glove? Because there wasn't just that one solution for being used for sign language. What were some of the other things that it was able to be used for? And that's what I also want you to include in your summary because it's not just one answer here. There's many things that are going on. So make sure to include, those are the main things that you need to include in the summary, and obviously essential details only. There were some additional details that they added in that second summary that aren't really helpful for your summary here. And everyone's summary is going to be sounding pretty similar. So only essential details. And if you have questions, make sure to see me during my office hours and then turn in just the show what you know when you're finished.